Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at a clip that has been going viral on the internet, and this is basically a clip of a mom giving her 18-year-old son, freshly turned 18-year-old son, I might add, basically some eviction papers, telling him that he has 30 days to leave the house. She filmed all of this for TikTok. I don't really know why. We're going to get into that a little bit later in this video, but this clip has been going viral. You know, people have been debating whether or not, you know, the mom was in the right, whether she was in the wrong, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Obviously, you know, some people have way different parenting methods than other people, and we've talked about some pretty bad parenting situations here on the channel before. It's not like this is the first time we've covered anything like this, but that is one thing, I guess, to keep in mind here. Some people just, you know, they were raised differently by their parents, and they have different parenting ideas and whatnot. They have different things that they think are acceptable and not acceptable to do to their kids. Now, I looked at the like eviction paper here and everything, and it looks pretty legitimate. Like, you're gonna see it in the video. It's like a half and half. On the left it'll have the terminated papers or whatever, and then on the right is like the kid's reaction to the entire thing. But there is a problem that I would like to note here, and I think a lot of people are kind of overlooking this whole thing, right? So today I kind of want to react to the entire situation. You know, I want to react not only to the video and uploading that for you know, attention online and everything, but I kind of also want to address like the public reaction to this video, right? Because I feel like, you know, some people, they just kind of took this clip and they looked at it once and then they just kind of threw their opinion in on it. But I'm gonna go ahead and play you guys the clip real quick. That way you guys have a pretty good understanding of what's going on here. Feel free to, you know, pause it if you need to look at the eviction paper on the left. But I'm just gonna play the clip in its entirety. There's not really that much to react to inside of that. But anyway, before we get into the video, I want to remind you guys that the majority of people watching this video have yet to subscribe. If you do enjoy the content and you want to make sure you're tuning in for every Optimus upload, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification button as well, and leave a like on this video to help it in the algorithm. And with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
How long did it take you to type this?
Oh, it took me 30 seconds, bro. You know, when your kid turns 18 and you give them a 30-day notice,
yeah, I mean,
you can,
that's crazy.
you can do
a,
To point out with this video here is the termination paper, right? So I don't know if you guys picked up on this or not, but there are a couple issues with this terminated paper, this lease or whatever that's supposed to be up here. First and foremost, when you look at who it's addressed to, in this instance that would be the kid, the name that's listed is Carlos and then 4 A's. Now I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the last name of this family is not literally just 4 letter A's. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And another issue that I noticed is on the landlord's signature and like the landlord's name and everything, it's just simply listed as your mom, right? So there's not really like any official names on the paperwork or anything like that, which leads me to believe this entire situation was fake. Now, the problem with this is there's a lot of people online who think that this is like a real situation, right? They think that, like, I guess this is real eviction papers and like this kid's really gonna be on the streets in like a month or whatever, right? So I don't think that's gonna be the case, simply because, like I said, these papers, they don't have any real official addressees or anything on it, you know what I mean? If it was like this kid's full name and like they had this like official, I feel like it would be a little bit different of a situation. So what exactly happened here? Most likely, at least from what I can see here, the mom did this as like a meme of sorts or whatever, and probably knew it was going to upset people online, so they just kind of like filmed this TikTok or whatever and she threw it up online just to kind of troll. That's really the only answer I personally have, because like, if you knew this was fake, there's no way you're going to be like being serious about this whole situation. At least I would assume. I don't know. I mean, that'd be pretty insane to try and serve fake papers and whatnot and try to like pass it off as real. Probably also illegal if we're being honest, but yeah, this is probably not really gonna happen, you know what I mean? But a lot of people online, they sure took it like that's exactly what was going down. So, you know, you have all the like, I guess, more common comments getting thrown in, like, oh, how could this shitty mom throw her kid out on the street like this? As a parent, you're supposed to nurture and grow your child, and it's not just an 18-year job, you have to raise your child even after that. And normally I would agree with this crowd, right? Like, if this was a real video, or at least what I would think to be a real video, I would also be right on that boat, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not cool to actually evict your child on their 18th birthday. That's not acceptable at all. At least to me as a person. I mean, like, I would never throw my kids out on the street on their 18th birthday. I feel like that's just insane. Because, I mean, you gotta consider, like, everything right now, like, inflation is sky high, rent in most places is just skyrocketing. It's hard to find a good mortgage for a lot of people, especially if you're an 18-year-old, you know? Like, if you were really gonna throw your kid out on the streets in 30 days off their 18th birthday, right? Like, in this economy, like, yeah, that's kind of a shitty thing to do in my opinion, and that would qualify you to be a bad parent, but I just don't see that being the case here. So, like I said, people, they were hitting this video with the typicals, you know, oh, this bitch will end up in a retirement home, and that's a good way to make your kid hate you and stuff like that. Like, people took it pretty seriously, and I don't necessarily blame them, because I guess at like first look of this video, it looks pretty legit, you know, like the kid seems somewhat confused. I don't know, he also seems like he's kind of in on it, like he's smiling throughout the video and whatnot. So, like, if it was real, I totally understand the reaction, but I mean, if you kind of just look at the papers, it just doesn't really seem legit. Like, it would just be a terrible way to try and go about it, putting all this kind of like not legitimate information on that kind of paperwork. So, but let's say for a minute, hypothetically, that this was a real video, right? And this kid was getting kicked out. I mean, am I the only one who would think that that would actually be insane? Because you got to think, there are really people out there that parent like that. There really are people out there who, like, the day their kid turns 18, they just, like, don't think that they need to do anything else, you know? Like, I guess they don't have to still be their parent and, like, actually spend, like, the rest of their life being a parent to their child. Like, I get it. Eventually, your kids, they leave the nest, they move out, they start their own families, they get their own lives and whatnot. But even then, right, I feel like a good parent has, like, a balance at that point, you know what I mean? Like, a good parent, in my opinion, isn't overprotective, they're not over clingy, like, they're not calling you every day, blowing your phone up, just, like, fucking with you all the time, and, like, legitimately getting in the way of your life and whatnot. But at the same time, you know, they're still somewhat active. They're there if you need them, you know, if you had to call them for an emergency, they'd still pick up. And the unfortunate truth is, man, like, people are just, I feel like, so traumatized from their shitty childhoods that they just immediately see a video like this on social media, and, like, their first reactions to just believe it. You really do have a lot of pretty shitty parents out there that, like, really would do something like this. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if there's probably thousands of people turning 18 around the world right now that are basically getting evicted by their parents because, well, the parent doesn't want to have to deal with it anymore. And I mean, if that's the case and that's like your mentality, you think like, oh, the day they turn 18, it's over with. Just because they're an adult, I don't have to do my job anymore, right? Like, if that's the way you really think about, like, having children, you probably shouldn't have children. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, if you're not willing to be there for your kid when it comes down to it, right? When it counts and when they need you the most and when they're in situations where they just can't guide themselves through it, right? Even if they are over 18. Realistically, I don't think you're the best parent. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a personal thing. I know, like I said, a lot of you've grown up different, right? And maybe your parents raised you to think that when you turned 18, like, that it's just cool to not talk to you. But at the end of the day, man, like, there's a lot of parents out here that would go above and beyond for their kids, and they would legitimately die for their kids, and they would do anything for them, right? And those are the parents I feel like that kids end up really having connections with for a lifetime, right? Like, not necessarily as a friend, but just you're a good parent, you know what I mean? They want you around, they want you in their family's life, they want to spend the rest of their life, you know, interacting with you. And when you look at a lot of the parents that don't have that with their kids anymore, where they don't have that connection or that relationship with their child anymore, a lot of the times it really comes back to their parenting decisions, and this, I think, is a prime example of that. So, I don't know, man, seems like a fake situation, seems like it was played up for the camera, for attention and whatnot, and people kind of just ran with it, man. And I don't blame them. Like I said, I know most people aren't going to pause the video and like spend 30 seconds reading through the entire paper when they can just spend 30 seconds watching the reaction to the whole thing. But I just kind of wanted to clarify this situation, because like, I don't want people to legitimately think like this is fully real, because like, from the looks of it, it's really not that real. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @subtheoptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about this viral clip and signing out.